You know those people who add you on Facebook that you don't even really know? Well, let's just say that I'm one of those people. It all started about a year ago, I think. Everything sort of gotten a little blurry. Lots happened since I first started this. Well, let's begin at the beginning. I never really had intended to join Facebook. I was a first-class loner and I had not really any friends. I didn't want to humiliate myself by letting the whole world know how much of a loser I was. But I was persuaded after hearing everyone talk about it. Not to me, of course, but rather just the people around me. Just loud enough for me to be able to hear. I hated how no one ever talked to me. It was like I didn't even exist or something. That, like my existence meant nothing to those little pieces of crap. I was tired of being a complete outcast, so I decided to create my own Facebook. I'll admit, it was scary at first. You know, letting the entire world how I was doing. I was basically giving up my privacy and freedom to finally fit in. The irony of the whole thing was that I was afraid of letting stalkers and serial killers know what I was up to. But I'll get to why that statement turned out ironic a little bit later. Anywho, at first Facebook seemed very foreign to me. I had 0 messages, 0 notifications, 0 friend invites. It was just like the real world, only this time, the whole world could see me, just being a loner. Regardless, I worked up the courage and started exploring the site. I still remember the first thing I did when I started using it. I played that one game about the fishes. You know the game, right? Yeah, that game. It was my favorite. I used to spend hours on it, buying countless fishes and then not to feed them and watch them die. Watching fish die was so much fun. I would have probably stayed there forever if it hadn't been for that first friend request. I couldn't believe it. Somebody actually wanted to be my friend. I eagerly clicked accept, and it was the best feeling I've ever had. It's hard to even describe the joy and wonder that I felt. So here's really where my story begins. After I clicked on his profile, I saw that what Facebook was really about. He had countless statuses, at least 5 likes in each, so, well, I wanted that. I began to snoop in his friends list and added every single person that he was friends with. It took about 5 hours to do so, but it was worth it. Before long, my page had grown from 1 friend to nearly 12. And of those friends who I would accept absolutely nothing. I knew nothing about these people. But because I was friends with them on Facebook, I learned everything. I passed the first 2 weeks adding all the people who my friends knew, and once they became my friends, I added everyone that they knew. Yes, my popularity was growing. People finally began to know who I was. It was so wonderful. The kids at my school even started talking to me. It was insane, just plain bizarre. I began to fall in love with Facebook. Addicted, well, you can say. I hated not being on it. The thought of not knowing what everyone was up to or doing, or what they were thinking, was just overwhelming. I hated the freaking school hours seemed like spending an eternity in hell. But I spent every single moment I had free on that site. I began dreaming about using the site, and soon after I stopped dreaming altogether, I developed insomnia, which was great for me because I could spend infinite amount of time on Facebook, especially since the school year just ended. It was so sweet to be able to spend every single waking moment of my life on Facebook. But spending so much time on it allowed me to also see the dark side of Facebook. there were people on there who wouldn't want to accept my friend requests. I sent tens of thousands, and yet still I only had around 2,000 friends. It was obvious that those people had something against me. Why else would they not want to be friends with me? Why? Yes, why else? There had to be a solution to all of this madness. It was obvious. Yes! It was all so clear then. All I had to do was get rid of them. I still remember my first victim. So innocent. I truly had nothing against her. She was a young, beautiful woman. I still remember those eyes, those piercing black eyes. The thing to remember about her was the thing I remember about her the most was how much she bled and how much she screamed. It was a different feeling that I felt then. Killing that girl, I relived it every time I was close to a new victim. Come to think of it, I just sent you a friend request also. I think twice about denying it before, if I were you. But maybe I'll see you soon.